Hello and welcome to The Silver Lining, the weekly geekly talk show where we discuss any number of topics that might have come up during what is now a short week because we are doing this super early. I'm your host, Uncle Silver, aka Silver Greg, aka Greg, whatever you are comfortable calling me. And welcome to you, my co-host, the chat. Always a fantastic time having you here. Even though this week is a little early, we are a couple of days early, which I do apologize for, unless you are able to make it here and not able to make it at normal time, in which case, congratulations. This is working out very well for you. Did you never leave Twitch? No, I don't think I closed the Twitch window. I think I refreshed the window at some point, but I didn't close the window. Oh my God. I apologize for the lighting. It's about to get a little bit too bright, but there is a great breeze coming in, and I really need to open my shade so I can get a little bit of this, because it is still kind of warm. I can see the chat from Smash. Oh yeah, for anybody watching this on YouTube or is here right now but was not here a couple of hours ago, we streamed a couple of hours and then I shut everything down for an hour and then we came back and we just started right now. So all of the chat that's up there is from 2 hours ago. Memories of like an hour ago. Memories like the corner of our mind, misty watercolored memories. I know that song, like that little bit of song from the movie Big with Tom Hanks. And then at some point I heard the real version, but I know that from the movie Big. Did I blank out? Nothing's changed. I mean, the stream title and everything has changed, so that's all legit. Has any of the worst take I've seen this week? You can. We'll probably won't talk about it. We will talk about it during the viewer topics portion of the show, which we will have this week. We did not have last week because last week we were jammed up with E3 discussion. We did all of the E3 talking last week. So we may end up talking a little bit about some of the stuff that has come from that. But yeah, we have legit topics this week. One of which I'm honestly afraid to have any kind of opinion on. But I do have an opinion on it. So that's what's going to happen. Yeah, it's getting a little too bright out there. It's not so bad when it's cloudy out. But when it gets really sunny outside, I can't control. I have these like light blocking sheets I need to control the amount of light that comes in. It's the only way I can really light my scene, my scenery perfectly, or better anyway. It's been a while since I got to join the Silver Lining. Dr. Gibbs, woo! Dr. Gibbs, are you able to join because it is Wednesday and not Friday? Are you one of the people that this is working out for? I'm back, ready for a Silver Lining. I always talk about my week ahead of time. You know, before we get started on the topics, I always talk about my week, and it's been kind of a decent week. We went to the beach over the weekend. I'm on vacation from work for 2 weeks. We went to the beach this past weekend and we came back Monday, and I missed the beach already. I missed the beach, but I miss Sage more. Like before we left, it was real weird. Like I don't like to leave him alone. You know, normally, like, I'm going to go to too many games tomorrow, and Beth's going to be here. So I don't worry about that. Sometimes we go away for a day or two, and I don't worry too much about leaving him. For some reason, this time, Thursday, we left Friday afternoon, and Thursday, I didn't want to leave him. It's real weird. So I was very happy to come home and see him on Monday, and of course, I then leave again on Thursday. But I'm on vacation for the next 2 weeks, so this is always a nice, relaxing bit of downtime. Hopefully, we can throw in some extra streams, a couple extra game streams here and there. I mean, we don't normally stream on Wednesdays at all. Earlier, we did a 2-hour Smash Brothers stream, and then right now we're doing the Silver Lining, so we're getting a little bit extra in. And then I may try and do some mobile streams, some IRL. Possibly walking around too many games or something. Not walking around at too many games because it's a loud convention, so it's not really easy to hear. But maybe just sitting outside and showing off some of the stuff that we got ahead of time, and I don't know, just sort of hanging out. Do something a little different. I like to change it up. I like the idea of being known for something. I like the idea of saying, oh, well, there's Greg. He's the retro gamer. He's this and that. But I do like changing it up. I do, I did the cooking stream one time, and I would really like to do another one when I get the setup a little bit better for it. I do retro games. I do newer games. I like changing it up from time to time. Do a 24-hour too many game. Nah, I don't have that kind of data. Just got my Mega Man Zero art book. So I'm happy. Live stream the Too Many Games video and the spoil. No, I won't. I won't live stream a Spoils of War because that's not my video. That's not my content to control. That goes on SGB or Some Call Me Johnny. I forget which one it goes on, but that's not my content to control. So I won't live stream that. What I done the past couple of conventions is do my own sort of spoils video of getting a little bit more in depth into the things that I got, because the Spoils of War video is, like I said, it's not my content, but it's a lot of people. There's always a bunch of us that go through all of our stuff. So, I mean, what was the one year? It was like an hour and a half long video, and then I was like 20 minutes of it. I don't like to do that. So I try to keep in my mind that there are other people, and I want to get it through faster, and then I'll do my own video, either live stream or a YouTube video, where I'll talk a little bit more in depth. If there's a special story as to why I got something or anything like that, I'll save it for something like that. Greg does it. Here's my hotel room. Dr. Gibbs, I would do that. Again, it's not only my hotel room. There's other people there. And I'm not going to do something that's going to put anybody else on the spot, make anybody else feel uncomfortable. I do want to try and do a little bit of video live streaming from there. Like I said, it most likely won't be in the convention, but I at least want to sit down with everybody, sit by the pool and have a discussion with everybody, talk about what's been going on. So, because I know Thursday and part of Friday, I think it's supposed to be like a high chance of rain. And then Saturday and Sunday it's supposed to be good. So, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, sit by the pool and just sort of hang out and talk to everybody, let everybody know how everything was going. It's when we get to the spoils video, a lot of the time we're all super run down. I remember there was that one year where all of us, you could tell like we were all about to pass out. And, we get really worn down. So I'd rather talk to everybody while I'm a little bit more lively. I need to set something up for mobile streaming where my problem with mobile streaming is all of this setup here is not there for mobile streaming. If I hit stream video on my phone, I don't have overlays. I don't have the chat on the window, and I like having all of that stuff. There's a reason I like having the chat over here. There's a reason I like having the logos and everything, and the window for alert boxes. I want to have all of that stuff. I just like the way it looks. People have asked about streaming. What should I do? And what should I do to make videos and stuff? And I always say the same thing: make the thing that you would like. Make the setup that you would like. People. I have a minimized camera window. Which is, I don't know what, here, right here. There we go. I have a minimized camera window, and then I've got the chat. I've had people say you should full screen the camera and then put the chat in a transparent state over the, on the screen. And I don't like that. I like having the camera having its own window and everything else having its own window. I like that stuff. I kind of figured that mobile streaming would be difficult. No, mobile streaming is not super difficult as far as actually doing it. You push the button that says stream. It has your camera with your what the camera's seeing. The problem is that, like I said, all of these overlays, all of this stuff, all of the alert boxes. Actually, I think you get the alerts because the alerts go through Streamlabs no matter how you're streaming. But I like having I like having a lot of this stuff, and I did it once before. There was a time that I did it where, remember the time that the power went out, and so I jumped back on stream. I grabbed my phone and I jumped back on stream, but we didn't have the overlays or anything. It was just me talking into the phone. Work was the same as always. Oh yeah. Hopefully everybody is doing. But that's that's blah blah blah. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Hopefully everybody is having a decent week. Relatively decent at least. I know that the weather's always an issue. Global warming is causing havoc with the weather everywhere. My pants are too wet. That's indigo. I don't know where to go there. I'm not touching that one. I'm in rough shape. Rocky Bear, I'm sorry to hear that. Rocky Bear, maybe this little silver lining during your week will be something to cheer you up for the rest of it. Silver lining. But how is it an Uncle Silver stream? Yeah. Well, remember, AR, I only feed Sage during the game streams, which I forgot to do in the last stream. But yeah, I only feed Sage during the game streams. We don't do that for the silver lining. Press play to Jason. Silver lining episode. Great addition to my day. Yeah, see, this Wednesday silver lining episode seems to be working out for some people, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. I don't know. What do you think? Silver lining twice a week? 1 hour a day for twice a week? Is that what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to break it all up. I also did a couple weeks ago. I uploaded the episode as a whole part. Instead, I might have been last week's episode. I uploaded it as one whole chunk instead of cutting it into a bunch of episodes. That was an unusual thing. I won't be doing that again for this week. This week is going to go up in chunks. I am in the process of looking for a way to upload at least the audio of the show onto something that is more accessible to everybody else. I was looking at SoundCloud, I think it was, or it's either SoundCloud or Spotify, one of those things. They charge you to have an account that will allow you to upload enough time. Like, I think you get a half an hour for free, but I would need 2 hours to upload the whole episode. So I'm still looking for a way to upload full podcasts, at first, at least, without having to pay for a subscription. Because that's my biggest problem, is that I don't want to pay for a subscription and do all of this and then 5 people listen to it, because most people could just get it on YouTube. I don't want to be able to do that. I wish that YouTube gave you the option to download the audio. That would be kind of cool. One stream and news for news and well, AR, we were talking about that earlier this week about doing news, talking about news. I just don't do enough. I really just don't do enough research into the things that come up. And I think that's my problem. I think if I started to do more research into things, I would do more news. Otherwise, it's basically just me saying what everybody else already said 5 minutes before. I'd be sitting there waiting for Game Explain videos to go up and then just making my own video about here's what Game Explain said. It's just I don't have the outlets to do enough research to make a viable news channel. But I do like to talk about some of these topics, which was the whole idea behind the silver lining in the first place, was that somebody else would present it as news and we would present it as editorial sort of topics. You know what I mean? Sort of free-form discussions. Sorry about that. Yeah, I got my iced tea here in my delightful cup with all my tie-dye hearts and love and peace and stuff on it. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing something like that, talking a little bit more about news and all. We'll see what happens as far as interest, really. But ultimately, I prefer this version of the show where we can just talk, because I got to be honest with you. I got 2 topics today that I don't know that I've got a lot of professional insight on. I'm going to need all of you to help me fill in some of the blanks for some of this stuff, specifically with our first topic. So I don't want to come across as a new, what would I sound like as a news channel to say, all right, and for this story, this is the thing that happened, right? I'm thinking that's what happened. You know what I mean? That's not me reporting the news. That's me asking you what the news is, which is why I love having everybody here, because I can do that. As long as I keep the format like this, I can get away with that. Just shooting a crap and having a good laugh here and there. Exactly. I can definitely talk Pokemon with the Cyberpunk thing. I can give a bit of insight. That's a great segue. So for the first topic, we are going to talk about the National Pokedex, or lack thereof. So the word came out that, and again, if I'm getting any of this wrong, please help me out here. The word came out that the Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield will not have the National Pokedex in it. It's not going to. A lot of the time, from what I understand, from what I remember anyway, I beat Omega Ruby, and when you beat it, it opens up the National Pokedex, and now you can catch all of the Pokemon in the region that you're in. And then the National Pokedex would have all of the Pokemon entries. My understanding is that you're not going to be able to catch the original Pokemon anymore. The National Pokedex is not going to appear in the game. You can't transfer them from the Pokemon, Pokemon Home. You're not going to be able to, any Pokemon that do not already exist in the Galar region, you will not be able to transfer into the game from another source, because the Pokemon effectively are not being coded into the game, is what I understand. Nintendo has said they aren't adding the National Pokedex at the moment because they don't want to overwork people doing the programming. Totally legitimate. Of course, what that means is, you can only use the Pokemon that are in the game, basically. You can't transfer the other ones over. You can't use them. You can't look at them. There won't be anything for that. I am okay with this, and at the same time, I'm not okay with this. What I am not okay with most of all is everybody creating such a big stink out of it. Of course, we are seeing a bunch of outrage online because people need something to outrage about, which we will get into in the next topic too. People want to outrage about something. They want to be pissed off. They want to see all their favorite Pokemon. And I don't think they seem to understand what would go into the game in order for them to have this National Pokedex and all of the features with the Pokemon that are included with it. First thing right off the bat, this makes sense for the game. This makes sense for these games where they are, especially for Pokemon Moon, because I think Pokemon Sun and Moon did not have the National Pokedex. It makes sense for them because they might be isolated regions that don't have all the Pokemon. I don't understand that you have these Pokemon that have never been seen, and usually the problem with the issue with the Pokemon, we've never seen these Pokemon over in this region. It makes sense because they exist over in that region. But if at some point you unlock an aspect of the game where all the Pokemon are available everywhere, that eliminates that as a reasonable explanation. Because now all of these Pokemon are here. So why weren't they also in some of the other areas? It doesn't make sense. So canon-wise, this actually makes a lot of sense. It's fine if you want to. Now, it's a little bit thrown off because we could say, okay, well, you can't catch them in the game, but you should be able to add them from the Pokemon Home. Whatever. Outside of the game, in the real world, this is an extremely difficult. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a natural environment if all the Pokemon are just all over the place. This is a lot more work than I think people realize. There was a thing online that somebody did where they were given 5 minutes to create a 3D model of the Pokemon. The results were hilarious. I wish I had some pictures of the hilarious results. But it proved to a lot of people that it's going to take longer than 5 minutes per Pokemon to program these Pokemon as far as the way they look, as far as the 3D models. That is the tip of the iceberg, though. You can't just program a Pokemon's 3D model and stick it in the game and say, "Oh, there you go." You have to create collision animations for different kinds of hits. You have to create stats, statistics, and how the statistics grow. When the Pokemon grow and they evolve and they attack and they get their stats reduced and increased and everything that happens, anything that happens in battle, you would now have to program into every single Pokemon. You'd have to sit there and go through, what would it be, another 800 Pokemon on top of the ones that are already in the game? It's not, importing them isn't as simple as, hey, we can do this in less than a day. It doesn't work that way. You have to program everything into that. If you have modes in the game where, I remember, what was the one that introduced like the beauty modes where you could dress up the Pokemon and buy them items, and instead of battling them, you enter them in the beauty contest. You now have to, if you have that feature in the game, you now have to program 800 more Pokemon to be compatible with that. And even then, when they say 800 Pokemon, they usually mean individual things. Rattatas in the Alola region were different looking. There were a lot of Pokemon that were different looking compared to what region you got them from. You now have to program every version of that Pokemon into the game. Pokemon in contest. Yeah, but you go to Pokemon contest. There's so much work that goes into this. And it's ridiculous for you to be sitting at home screaming into your computer, "This is outrageous. I'm not going to buy it." Because let's face it, you're gonna buy it. Stop acting like you're not. This is what gets me about hardcore. I've been a hardcore Pokemon fan. I bought every single game up until now. And I'm not gonna buy this one because it doesn't have the National Pokedex in it. You're gonna buy it. Stop it. Alolan forms, alt forms. You have to program all of that stuff into the game. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for you to be yelling at developers yelling online and complaining with people and talking about boycotts. I'm sure there's a petition going around somewhere, a petition to bring back the National Pokedex. There's a lot of work to go into that you're not going to be doing. It's rotten. It's rotten. It goes back. We've talked about this before with this cancel culture. This idea of, if it's not the way I want it to be, I want it canceled. They need to cancel the game. They need to remove this feature. They need to not bring it out until this feature gets put in. It's nonsense. It really is nonsense. Knock it off. If you don't have the National Pokedex, I'm sorry, but you've got 20 more years of games that you can go back and play. They're there. And I don't remember, and somebody can clarify. I said this before, and I don't know if somebody can clarify this for me. The National Pokedex was not in Pokemon Sun and Moon, right? I went and looked this up, and I thought I saw something that said it. I'm only playing Moon right now for the first time ever. I thought I saw something that said that it's not in those two games. I don't remember. Somebody saying I think it was. Yeah, see, I think it was. I don't think so. I don't, like, when you beat Moon or Ultra Moon, did something open up that allowed you to catch all of the other Pokemon in the game? Or was it always just the Alola region Pokemon? Yeah, because I thought I saw something that said that it's actually not in the game, and I don't know if that was maybe something that was added for Ultra Moon. What I'm getting at, either way, what I'm getting at is, I don't remember this kind of outrage for this happening before. I do remember being capable of catching Gen 1 through 4 Pokemon. Okay, so there was some aspect of the game. I think the issue is we can't go back unless it's a 3DS game. Once you transfer from GBA, oh yeah. I don't remember this kind of outrage before. And I followed Sun and Moon for a little while. I followed it as far as it coming out, and I knew I wasn't really gonna get it. I knew that, and I honestly think the same with the Galar region, with Sword and Shield. I might get one. If I do, it's probably gonna be Sword. Both Pokemon Sun and Moon and Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon do not include the National Pokedex. That's from Bulbapedia. So yeah, so they don't have it. I don't remember this kind of outrage before. So I really don't understand why people are so freaked out about not having a National Pokedex. Except, I am going to defend it in one thing. I am going to defend this in one way. There might be some extra hate from the lackluster presentation. I don't think the presentation was lackluster. I thought the presentation was very good. I was more interested in Swish, which I believe is what we're calling it now. Sword and Shield SHSW, so we're calling it Swish, or SWSH. I will defend the Pokedex issue for one major aspect. At some point, you have to stop including 800, 900 plus Pokemon in the game. That was going to be a given. This is the first game on the Switch possibly the biggest selling Pokemon game there might ever be. Outside of like Red and Blue, because there were 100 billion Game Boys out there. This was probably not the time to make the choice of removing the National Pokedex. This is the only defense I can give to this argument. This was probably not the moment for you to say, hey, we are probably going to have the biggest audience for Pokemon that we have had in a very long time. Let's take out one of the biggest features of the game. This is probably not the best time to do that. That is my only defense for this. That is the only thing that I can defend it for. Even with that defense, I still say if it's gone, it's gone. But I can understand that as a defense. I'll tell you what I would like to see though, for make everybody. I think this will actually make everybody happy. Give it 6 months. Let the game be out. Let everybody collect. Let everybody have, go around and do everything that they have to do, beat the storyline and everything. Give us DLC and then put the Gen 1 Pokemon in there. Or at least some of them. Do something like that. Do something where you turn this into the big Pokemon game for a couple of years. You add the next generations as you go. You say that there's a mass migration and Pokemon from the Kanto region are now being spotted in the Galar region. You do this event where over time you let it so that they can have these Pokemon. Talking about stuff like the double kick being a hop in game for the console. Okay. Yeah, I can somewhat agree. The removal of the feature is odd. Now the Pokemon fan base goes full stupid. Just funny, a week ago, Pokemon fans were all about their Scottish girl trainer and sheep Pokemon. Now they're upset over this natural. Well, no, Dr. Gibbs, they may have moved on from the National Pokedex issue to Nessa. Is that the new trainer who I'm seeing an odd amount of artwork for? Like a limited run sort of deal. Neon, maybe not limited run, but limited release, where you'll see them after 6 months and then you'll see them a little bit less, because then the Johto region Pokemon will show up, and then so you'll still see the Kanto region Pokemon, but maybe you'll see the Johto ones a little bit more often. Something of R34, Greg, of R34. Add more poker waifus. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. I think that would be something that people would like. Not to mention that would extend the playability for everybody else. People would be able to look at it and say, oh, well, I played it for 6 months and then I put it down. Oh, but no, now I have to pick it. I mean, there's still people playing Pokemon Go, which is, I'm not chiding anybody. I'm not harassing anybody or making fun of anybody for it. But it is amazing to me that there are still people playing Pokemon Go. Unbelievable to me. And it was great. It was great while I played it, but then I stopped playing it. R34, yes. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of it. I just think that it's a relatively valid issue. It is not a valid issue enough to be making a storm about it. It's not a valid enough issue to be making a petition or claiming that you're not going to buy it. Like, I don't think it's a game breaker. I don't think it's a deal breaker for anybody to be buying that. I will. Oh, I said this a couple days ago, and I want to say this again. I want to say this here while I'm here, and while I have this platform that I have created myself. It's like a soapbox I built for myself. If you are watching this or listening to this, and you are one of these people who think that I am outraged that there's no Pokemon National Pokedex, if you're one of those people, I'm not going to buy it. This is outrageous. This is ridiculous. If you are the ragers, when this game comes out, if for whatever reason they decide to add it and add all of the Pokemon later, I want to see screenshots where you have caught all of these Pokemon. I want to see your Pokedex. What is it? The diploma or something? I want to see your Pokedex with 1,000 Pokemon or whatever the number is going to be when this game finally comes out. Because if you are making a stink about this, that you want all of these Pokemon in there, and they get put in there, and you don't catch every one of them that you're not catching, you wasted somebody's time. You sat there and you argued and you petitioned and you threw a fit and they bent to your will, and then you said, oh, well, never mind. It's the same people who went wildly out of their way to get some of these old franchises brought back in new form. These people who petitioned for Bubsy. Bubsy's the worst example for me. But people who freaked out and wanted Bubsy and then never bought the game. You wasted everybody's time. Everybody who worked on that game that you said that you wanted that game for, and then you didn't buy the game. You wasted everybody's time. I don't know what that is. Yeah, in other words, square up or shut up. Wait. No, Rami, I don't know that there was a petition for Bubsy. I just know that when people were talking about, they could be making a new Bubsy game, there were a lot of people like, oh, we absolutely want a new Bubsy game. And they, going nuts for it. And then nobody, it was, I mean, part of it was that it was a bad game. But, it's just weird to me that people, they freak out. Yeah, but I think Bubsy came to be because the devs were bored. Brandon, I would not say that they're any more outrageous than a lot of the other fandoms out there. But, every fandom has its extremists. And that's who is taking over when it comes to this. When it comes to these outrages, what you were getting is, I know that it is an extreme word to use, but it is effectively extremists within those fandoms. Because it is not the fandom as a whole. It is definitely the few claiming to speak for the many. And that's what's going on here. It's not about catching the Pokemon, it's about not being able to use them in Sword and Shield. Everyone and kept the limited dex because of, but yeah, Hawkeye, but that's what we were saying earlier. That's what I was saying earlier. In order for Pokemon to be usable that are not already in the game, you have to create their 3D models. You have to create their movesets. You have to create the animations for them using every move and for them being hit by every move. Because you're going to have a game crash if you send a Pokemon out there that is not programmed to get hit with seismic toss. You're going to have these issues if you don't have all of the stuff programmed. You have to create stat charts, in-game stat numbers for these Pokemon for when they grow and evolve. There's a lot of programming and coding that goes into it. It is not 5 minutes per monster to put into the game. I said monster because I'm tired of saying Pokemon, but I didn't like that word. Even though they're pocket monsters. But there's so much programming that has to go into each one of these, and they want people to do it 800 more times just because they want to see their favorites. That's not okay. Sonic 4 episodes 1 and 2 are a complete waste of time. Mania turned that around. Yeah, Sonic Mania might be the best Sonic game to come out in a long time. Yeah, I don't know. There's like I said, there's this outrage about people want to be upset. They like to find things to be upset about, and this one, admittedly, this is a little bit more justifiable than some because this does directly include a video game feature that has been around for a little while. I still don't think that this is worth this kind of outrage. You know what else I don't think is worth this kind of outrage? This poster. I did a little bit of creative editing on this poster because I did not want to show even though the poster is actually kind of small on the screen, I don't like that. Cyberpunk 2077 came out. Well, not came out, but had its big trailer, had its big giant, a big amazing trailer during E3. We found out how breathtaking the game was. Yes, that's a Keanu reference. In the game was a poster. inside the game was a poster with a trans character, a trans person on the poster, and it says "Mix It Up." It turns out that it's in. What about this poster? It turns out that the poster is for an in-game soft drink that has a bunch of different flavors. So you're supposed to mix it up. You try the different flavors out. People are upset because they believe that CD Projekt Red is using the image of a trans person in an exploitive way. In a very unsettling, inappropriate way. Okay. Here's the problem. Here is the issue. Political drama, great. In the game Cyberpunk 2077, it has become apparent through the trailers and gameplay and stuff that corporations kind of run things in a very unsettling way. They call them the police force that you see around. They call them corpo cops, which are basically corporate police forces that will uphold what they do. This is my interpretation of what is sort of going on, because I know like there was a private in the first gameplay trailer. They have to rescue somebody and then they get them to the roof so that they can get an ambulance. When the ambulance shows up, there's armed guards on the ambulance. They are private medical firms that the rich people hire. Corporations run everything, and in most cyberpunk atmosphere media that I've ever seen, corporations are manipulative. They are often violent. That's what they are. That's a lot of the time what cyberpunk is. A very common theme in the cyberpunk atmosphere, cyberpunk mythos, or whatever you would call it, is that corporations have run amok and they have more power than they ever should have had. So often cyberpunk heroes are the ones fighting the corporations. That's why they're the computer hackers. They're the ones that are going out there and helping the people, even though the corporations are trying to keep them down. That is a very, very common thing. What you're seeing here is in-game is in-game evidence of that behavior from corporations. You're seeing corporations. Yes, it is exploitive of a trans person and the trans community. It is exploitive because that's who the corporations are. That is the point. If you want an example of why this is ridiculous, if you would like a very direct example of why this is ridiculous, if you watched a movie that was about slavery in the 1800s, that was about racial issues in the 1940s in the South or something, if you wanted to watch anything like that, you would not be upset at the directors and the producers of the movie because someone in the movie said the N-word. It's called context. That's what it's there for. Yes, it is a horrible word. Yes, somebody who would use that word is a horrible person. Then you're understanding the point of the movie. Then you get why they're saying it. When you watch a movie that has something to do with the Holocaust and you watch a Nazi treat a Jewish person badly, it's not the actor that did it. It's not the studio that did this horrible thing. They're showing you what happened in that environment. That's what it was. It's called context. This is context. Yes, it is exploitive of trans people. Yes, it is insulting. Do you know who's doing it? Corporations are doing it. That is the environment that you are supposed to be playing this game in. You're supposed to understand that. I promise you, if this poster upsets you in the game world, you're going to be upset by a lot more than just that poster. I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot more stuff that happens in that game that you are going to disagree with, because the point is that you're supposed to disagree with it. You're supposed to look at it and realize anybody who puts that poster up is the bad guy. And in this game, corporations are the bad guys. I don't understand. I don't understand why that is such a complicated concept. And again, this is why I transitioned from the Pokemon thing. People just want to be upset. Let's. This is why I was a little sketchy, because I knew that this conversation could go somewhere awry very quickly. So let's please be careful and respectful in the chat. It's corporations being evil is the point. It's the point. When a racist person in a movie about slavery says the N-word, he's saying it because he's the villain. When a Nazi shouts at a Jewish person in a movie about the Holocaust, they're doing it because they're the villain. It just bugged the hell out of me. It bugged the hell out of me. And again, I have this poster up. I don't want to put the original poster up. If you go online, you should be able to search the poster just fine. I will tell you to do so at your own risk. It is effectively a not safe for work picture, so that's why I edited it and put my business over their business. Social commentary video games can do it too. Yeah, so exactly. Yeah, but I don't understand why people, and that, you know what, press play, that comes back to the keep your politics out of my video games. Are you kidding? Video politics have been in video games for years now. Some video games are all about politics. Politics is what drives lots of media. Love Star Wars Episode 1 or hate it. But the idea that all of this trouble, all of this Empire versus versus rebellion, all of that stuff, the idea that all of this started in a political setting makes 100% perfect sense. You can love the movie or you can hate the movie, but the reality is, starting in a political setting where, with trade embargoes and political manipulation and votes of no confidence and crazy sped up elections, that is how wars happen. It is political at its core. That is constant in media. There's always a political aspect to it. Been around since the Atari days. You don't like them, you don't play them. So I think it makes sense why people were upset over this. It seemed a bit like CD Projekt Red was using a trans person either the butt of a joke or no. Yes, in context it's bad. No, Rooster, that's my point. CD Projekt Red is using this sort of imagery to prove a point. It's exactly what you're saying, that it was using a trans person as either the butt of a joke or a cheap ploy. But that's what the corporations are doing in the game, and you have to create that. You have to create that. If you don't, and here's the thing, I keep saying that you have to, that you should. Here's what it looks like when you don't. When you don't create that stuff, yes, you the creator of the game, have to then create these horrible versions of imagery in order to add into the game to stress how bad the corporations are. When you don't do that, what you end up with is what we call pulled punches. You get villains who don't kill. Not because it makes sense, not because it's canon to the story, but because outside of the movie, someone said, I don't want to see any killing in the movie. So now it doesn't make sense. I have a perfect example for that. I have a great example for that. This is one of the reasons I loved Game of Thrones over The Walking Dead. I have a great example for this. A zombie apocalypse happens, some sort of horrible apocalypse. You go through these bad events. You watch your friends die, you watch your family die, you yourself have been injured multiple times, you are surrounded with nothing but death and destruction seemingly every day. Why doesn't anybody really curse on the show? If at any point during the day there is a high probability that I'm going to go out there and watch my friends get killed and eaten and have their faces ripped off of them, I'm going to be dropping F-bombs. I'm going to be dropping a lot of F-bombs. That's why I like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones did not have to pull those punches. Game of Thrones, if it was time for somebody to get their hand cut off, Game of Thrones cut their hand off and you saw it. If it was time to murder a room full of people, including a woman that was pregnant, you got the red wedding. Like, there were these moments that if you tried to pull your punches to make the viewers happy, you are going to sacrifice the integrity of the storytelling because you are not showing these things. If you're trying to make a video game where you're trying to prove how horrible the corporations are, and all of their posters are just kind of stupid, you're not getting the evil corporation. You're getting stupid corporation. You need to create this kind of stuff in the game because you need to understand that this is what you're fighting against. Otherwise, like I said, you get what's called pulled punches, and it doesn't work. It doesn't create the atmosphere. It takes you out of the atmosphere. You watch it and you watch it and you leave, your mind leaves the world of the media and comes back into the real world and says, I bet the producers didn't want to show that. You can't. It doesn't work that way because it takes you out of the media. You need an extreme. Yeah, you need an extreme to understand an extreme. I want to say that it's unfortunate, but it's kind of not. It just is. It is simply storytelling. That's how storytelling works. You can't pull your punches because you're not going to get the point across. You know, when you stub your toe, when you stub your toe and it hurts like hell, you could say, "Oh, poopers," which is hilarious, which I would probably say. But realistically, you're gonna scream the F word as loud as you can, and that's because that's reality. So when you watch a TV show and they don't scream, they stub their toe and they go, "Oh man," you know that that's not realistic. You know that, oh well, they couldn't say the F-bomb. They couldn't say what you really want to say when that happens. So it comes across as a pulled punch, and it takes you out of the story world, and you don't want to do that. So yeah, so that is the controversy with that. I knew that I at least wanted to address that. I knew I wanted to say something about it because it was kind of driving me crazy. I believe our notifications are working, right? Because I just see a follow there, and what people don't realize is I want to avoid this. I don't want to see it in my game or movie. Is how those scenarios happen in the first place. Hard times make strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. That's interesting.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Granite Mech 617. Thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciated. I see the poster is hopefully not having an effect on that. Yeah, whatever happened to saying ouch? Rocky Bear, you ever stub your toe? You ever hit your pinky toe really hard on a coffee table or something when the lights were off and you didn't know it was there? Ouch ain't cutting it. Avoiding the issue just ensures it'll appear with more force in the future. Yeah, DB Stewart, you know what? That is more, I would say more so turning a blind eye means they're going to have the freedom to do it. And that's a dangerous thing. I know that it's exhausting to have to deal with that stuff, but you do have to say something every once in a while. But you need to know when to say something and what you're supposed to be saying. When I bang my toe, I generally say, "Son of a biscuit," because I've spent so. See, Rooster, there you go. That's not bad. Son of a biscuit. That's funnier. But when you get your mind out of hanging around with kids, you're going to change that. AR Mega Man, I have not, but I have heard of that. I've known people that have done that before. Not from stubbing toes though. Normally from something else catastrophic happening to their foot. Let's not forget that we're always warned about uncomfortable and short content is going to be in said well, we're supposed to be warned. That's why I totally understand John Wick. That's what I would. Yeah, John Wick. For anybody that thinks John Wick was an overreaction, you have never owned a pet in your life. John Wick's reaction was completely justified. Hashtag John Wick did nothing wrong. Son of a biscuit. Agent 501 in the hunt with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. 4 months of smooth. Oh, wait. Gotta turn. 4 months of smooth jazz. I mean, smooth talking moist. Thank you so much for that, though. I very, very much appreciate it. I would say son of a. You know what I say, Rami? I got into the habit of saying son of a parent. I always got a kick out. I don't know why, because it's not. I think that's what it is. It's not wrong. Like son of a parent. Like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Moist. I like that you still threw a son of a submariner. Oh my god, where do I know that from? Where was son of a submariner? You're gonna kill me now. What game that was from a video game? It was from a game. Hold on. No, that wasn't Final Fantasy VII. Crap baskets. Oh, I like crap baskets. I'm gonna try and use that one. Oh, son of a submariner. Okay, you got to tell me. I don't remember. Was it Final Fantasy VI? Okay, yeah, it was Final Fantasy VI. Yeah, son of a submariner. I knew I remember that from somewhere. For the life of me, I just couldn't figure it out. Yeah, I do like crap baskets though. I may use crap baskets from time to time. So yeah, so that's the poster. You know, it is what it is. It's but I have a sort of fun, silly topic that I want to do. I don't know how fun and silly it is. I think I'm playing fast and loose with fun and silly. E3 happened. We talked about it before. Let me actually bring this up because for some reason I don't have it up. Desktop. E3 happened, and whoever won, we lost. Our wallets are losing because most people will admit their wallets are going to get hit hard. It is happening already. We have already started to see some things. Next week, I know like Mario Maker 2 is coming out. I don't really want to get deep into this, but stuff like this is the main reason why I don't like talking about politics. Politics has its place. It's just what frustrates me. It's just that what frustrates me that for every calm civil discussion, there are loud, irrational people who make both sides look bad. And do not make things worse for everybody involved. Okay, and do make things worse for everybody involved. Yeah, it Neon Mole, and it is tiring. Neon Mole, I don't know if you were here. You go back a few weeks of episodes, and we did a segment about me just being tired of hating everything, and so I am tired of it. But the reality is, it is a part of our reality. You know, this is why when people say I don't want politics in my video games, the reality is politics are in video games. That is the truth. So while we try to not deal with it all the time, it does have to be dealt with at some point, even a little bit. But that's why I like forums like this. You know, we have the forum. I would hope that I have proven that I can have at least a civil discussion. And the best thing is if it gets out of hand, I can just shut it down. That's, you know, it's bad as it sounds. I like to have control of that because yes, I don't like having outside of civility discussions about that sort of thing. But I put together a list. I went through everything and tried to figure out the stuff that I really want to buy that either we saw at E3, was announced at E3, or maybe I already wanted it. Because I do have a few here that are not technically E3 announcements, or definitely are not E3 announcements, but I threw them on the list because they are the things that at this point, this is everything I would like to own right now. This is over the next year. This is everything I would like to own. Again, I'll start with the ones that did not come from E3, just so that we can get those out of the way. Who was Greg Skull? No, Rocky, we're not scolding anybody. We're just talking about the fact that while we don't like having to talk about political or pseudo-political topics, they kind of have to happen every once in a while. So, I have 17 things on this list. Luigi's Mansion 3 is not one of them. Persona 5. I still want to pick up a copy of Persona 5. I may do that next week. I did, however, just start playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I've had the game since I got my PS4, and I have not played it. I literally took the plastic off the other day in order to play it. So I'm finally playing through that now. It's a great game. So far, it's fantastic. I'm about 3 hours into it, and I really enjoy it. Play the first Luigi Mansion, then decide on the third game. Press play. I did play the first game and I didn't like it. I should probably play the second game and make a decision, but I did not like the first game. I think it had a lot of big problems, one of which is that it was not a very intuitive game, and I didn't like it. Maybe I'll revisit it one day, but as for right now, my interest in Luigi Mansion 3 is minimal at best. Yeah, $1,000 giveaway. Oh, that's what Real Edgy missed. Cuphead Physical. This was another one that was not from E3. That's okay. But Guigi. Okay, I do like Guigi. I mostly just like the name. Cuphead Physical. I want to get a copy of Cuphead Physical. For the most part, most of this stuff is on the Switch, with a couple exceptions here and there. I do want to get the Cuphead physical for the Switch. My understanding is that it is out on the Switch now. When the DLC comes out for it, they're going to release a physical copy of Cuphead. Somebody can do a search and find out where exactly that was said. I did see it. I remember it being in an article about, they were talking to somebody from the dev team or something, and they did say that. So my understanding is that a physical copy of Cuphead for the Switch is coming, but they're waiting for the DLC, and then they're going to bundle it all together on the DLC. While you're resting, other people are not, and they're losing. Yeah, you're losing ground. It's the same concept in sports. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Yeah, because everybody else is getting better. I should get in a cup. AR, I've been wanting to play Cuphead for the longest time now, and when I found that it was coming on the Switch, I was excited. Then they said that it wasn't going to be a physical edition. So I said, okay, I'll buy the digital one. Then they said there is a physical one coming out later. So now I have to wait for that. Contra Collection. Now Contra Collection is sort of E3 because I don't think we had a date for the Contra Collection. And then when E3 happened, they said that it was up later that day. I would like a copy of the Contra Collection. Another one that I'm hearing there's a physical copy coming out for. I love my physical games, and I can't help it. So I want to wait for it. So now I'm waiting for that. Bloodstained. I definitely want a copy of Bloodstained. Again, Switch version is coming out this upcoming Tuesday, next week on Tuesday. The PS4, Steam, all those other versions are coming out. They came out yesterday or the day before. And as of this show, which is where we on June 19th, and then why not play it on your PS4? The portability of the Switch is a driving factor for me. It really is. Bloodstained is a perfect example. Bloodstained on everything except the Switch runs at 60 frames per second. On the Switch, it runs at 30 frames per second. I would rather have 60 frames. But the portability aspect of it is too much to ignore. I need the portability aspect. Oh, we're talking about Cuphead. No, I'm real edgy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the portability aspect. That's why I don't play it on PS4, because I would have to buy it on Cuphead. I would have to buy on PS4, and then I want to have it on the Switch so that I can take it on the go. The portability is more important to me. So I'm going to wait for Cuphead to come out. And I like physical copies. I'm going to wait for Bloodstained until next week because even though it's at 30 frames per second instead of 60, the portability is too important for me. I need that. I thought you didn't. Oh, no. Edgy. No, I didn't play it on PS4. I didn't have a PS4 until like July of last year. I got it as a 40th birthday present. I just haven't bought it. There really is no other reason beyond that. I don't really like digital games, and I know that I believe there's a physical copy for the PS4. I just haven't bought it. Same thing with Persona 5. I just haven't bought it. Cuphead's not on. I thought Cuphead was on. Oh, no. That's right. Cuphead was an Xbox game. Cuphead was Xbox and PC. That's right. It was Xbox and PC. Sorry about that. Oh yeah. Oh, and Mac. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm. Did you get a PS4 Pro? No, just a regular PS4. Just a regular PS4. And the Tesla apparently, and I think it's on iTunes. Uncle, can I ask your opinion about something real quick? You can try. I'm gonna blast through it because we're still handling this list. But yeah, the Contra Collection, Bloodstained, I'm gonna get. I might get this coming Tuesday. Let's see what happens as far as how much I buy at Too Many Games, and then I may end up just heading out and picking up Bloodstained for the Switch. Hey, I'm new to your stream, but I see you love your work, so I'm just gonna say good job. Keep going. We'll be one of the best streamers. Hey, thank you very much. OKBA. I'm gonna say OKBA. Reminds me of OKKO, which is actually a very decent show. But thank you so much for that. I very, very much appreciate that. I have arrived with my pillow and blankies. I declare this stream to be in nap time. So what did you think of Ubisoft's game? I don't care about any of that. Ubisoft, I don't really worry about. I hate to say it, but it is Ubisoft. That's their streaming. That's their game service. Like, who cares? Nobody's clamoring for Ubisoft's Game Pass so that they can play Just Dance. I like the Just Dance games, but it's not that important. Tom Clancy Game Pass. Okay, so I'm gonna try and do this in order of. Actually, no, I don't.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your
BA,
newsletter.
thank you so much for the follow. Extremely appreciated. Hope to see you here again. We do this. We stream 4 days a week. 3 days are gameplay. 1 day is this show. This is not normally the time slot for the show, though. So if you check down below, you can see a little chart that we have with all of the normal times on it. Currently, for our gameplay streams, we're playing Final Fantasy VII, by the way. So these are not in any particular order, with the first 4, I would say, probably the ones that I'm most excited. See, not even really, because they're kind of all over the place. Getting the Stadia. Yeah, I can't wait to get the Stadia and put it right next to my Ouya. Animal Crossing, New Horizons. I don't think that's... If you've been here anything longer than 20 minutes, I don't think that it's a surprise that I really love Animal Crossing. So I am extremely excited for New Horizons, even though when they first started showing the demo of it during the Direct, I thought that it was for Pocket Camp. But as we move forward and I'm seeing more and more about New Horizons, I am ridiculously excited for it. Real Edgy gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much. That is 5 gifts for the channel. Who is that? Sanaj is... One of my favorite things about the gift sub bombs is that I see the people that are lurking. Thank you so much, Real Edgy, for that. That is very much appreciated. Super duper generous. If you see your name there, please thank Real Edgy for that. That is unbelievable. I think I'm gonna have to mute my. Oh no, wait. The announcements that go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna let those play because we only have 5 of them. So we're. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say only 5 like that, but we only have 2 more to go. So I'm gonna let those announcements play. There should be an extra announcement for that. An extra version of the announcement. Look at that. There's R-Wing, and we got one more. I'm sorry, I don't want to spoil the surprise for who's next. Let's all watch the announcements and see who's next. Wow, that thing lasts a long time. Oh, it's Granite Mac. Woo! Someone needs to sub bomb with 20. I have a button to mute my alerts, so so I can do that if I absolutely have to. So yeah, Animal Crossing, New Horizons, super excited for it. Cyberpunk 2077. Do I even need to say I'm excited for that? Like, I'm so pumped about this game. At this point, the only thing that's going to happen to me with Cyberpunk 2077 is that I'm going to start seeing things that I don't like, because at this point it's a buy. It's probably even a day 1 purchase. But thank you so much, Edgy, Real Edgy, for that. That is very much appreciated. One of the persons that isn't subbed gifted subs. Oh, you hit affiliate! Congratulations! That's always fun. I remember when I first hit affiliate, I was actually really excited, and I was so excited to start like doing things with the stream and all. It's very, very cool. So Cyberpunk 2077. For the first time ever, I am excited for the Final Fantasy VII remake, and I am looking to pick it up. I am a little concerned with how much game there is there. They're talking about like 2 discs, and the whole first part of the game is Midgar, and I'm a little concerned with that. So I kind of want to see how all of this content plays out. But after seeing it at E3, I'm actually, for the first time, extremely excited to see this game and to pick it up. These are all, by the way, these are all things that I'm not just excited for, that I would love to actually buy. Yeah, the first thing I did was make a Jumbo emote. Yeah, Jumbo is a Dutch grocery store, and I love. Oh, okay. What about Dress Cloud? Dress Cloud is going to be in the game. They announced they said that it's going to be in the game. The Honeybee Inn, all that stuff. They said it's going to be in the game. I'm crazy excited. I'm very excited to see all of this stuff. The TurboGrafx Mini. So far we only have seen 6 games from it. The TurboGrafx Mini is coming out in 3 different regions. Are you concerned about Cloud's voice? Nah, I think what we saw in the trailer was fine. I'm not really concerned with his voice. We never really had, other than Advent Children, we never really had voice acting for these characters. So I'm not really too concerned. I'm not ready to doomsay anything yet. They did say that it was an episodic. Yeah, it's episodic, Rami. My biggest concern is how many episodes. Are they going to try and break this up into 10 $60 games? Yikes. The TurboGrafx Mini, it's going to be coming out in the US as TurboGrafx Mini. It's coming out in Japan as the PC Engine Mini, and it's coming out in Europe as the Core Graphics Mini. Truth be told, I really kind of would love to see all 3 of them. I would love to own all 3 of them because I loved every model of that system. We have you for voice acting in the game. Hey, Jeffersonia, what's going on? Yeah, I'll do my voices from the Final Fantasy VII playthrough that we're doing. Oh, but Barrett, we can't destroy the factory. Yeah, so the TurboGrafx Mini, I'm actually really excited for. Especially, again, TurboGrafx Mini is one that the only thing that's going to ruin that for me is for them to say you are not in any way going to be able to add games to it. At this point, the Mega Drive Mini and the SNES, the Mega Drive Mini and that's what we want, just like the NES and the SNES Mini. Wait, wasn't Cloud a silent? Real edgy? No, Cloud was not a silent protagonist. Cloud actually talked a lot, not a whole lot, but he did talk in Final Fantasy VII. And I think that people think that he was a silent protagonist. Well, remember, lines like "Let's Mosey" and "I don't care what your names are, I just want to get this job done." He spoke in that game. He spoke several times in that game. Yeah, he was not actually a silent protagonist. The Mana Collection. So Seiken Densetsu, which came out, Seiken Densetsu 1 came out over in the US as Final Fantasy Adventure. In 2 came out as Secret of Mana, and we never got 3. They announced a the Mana Secret of Mana collection came across West. It's on the Switch right now. It is the first 3 games for $40. Apparently, they announced a physical copy for that too. So now I want that. I would love to have a physical copy for that. I haven't played Final Fantasy VII to this. Oh, Edgy, you're missing a heck of a playthrough. We've been doing it for maybe like a week now, if even that. I know Cloud is getting... I remember hearing something about that he's getting recast. Yeah, Cloud's very talkative and snarky throughout the game. Bought the collection day 1, loving every second of it. I want it. I found out that they're making a physical collection for it. So now I want the physical collection. Dark Crystal Tactics. There is a game coming out for anybody that remembers this old movie called The Dark Crystal. They are making a new Netflix show for it. And there is a tactics game for it. It's sort of like Final Fantasy Tactics, like that kind of combat. Look, Dark Crystal's a great property, and I love tactical games like that, for as few of them as I've ever played. I'm actually pretty excited for this game to come out. I really want to see what this game can bring to the table, especially if they tie the story in along with the Netflix show. But I like watching great... Oh, AR Mega Man, that makes me feel good. By the way, I know this is gonna sound kind of stupid and kind of cheesy, but I'm actually still kind of jittery and giggly about the fact that we had a gift bomb. I think it's only happened once before. So I'm sort of like, I'm trying to move on and not really bring attention to it, but I don't know. I'm very excited about it. Never mind about my question. I fell into temptation and used my credit card to buy a Twitch. Oh, you're gonna ask me if you wanted to go to TwitchCon. I'm not familiar with TwitchCon. I don't know exactly what happens there, so I wouldn't be familiar enough with it to say go or don't go. But I do see that your icon was already updated to include your TwitchCon 2019 logo. Yeah, Dark Crystal. I saw Dark Crystal when I was very young. An unpopular opinion, I think it's one of the ugliest movies ever. Jeffersonia, the Jim Henson puppetry takes a while. It took a while for me to grow on. Outside of Muppets and things like that, it took a while for that stuff to sort of grow on me. If I keep buying games, I'm gonna run out of shelf space. I am pretty much out of shelf space. But yeah, Dark Crystal Tactics, I'm excited for. Real Edgy also subscribed. Thank you so much, Real Edgy, for the tier 1 sub. Subscribe for 3 months. Very much. Oh yeah, 3 months. You got a new sword. It's so incredibly appreciated for so many. Yeah, thank you so much for that. That is fantastic. I thank you. I'm okay. I can't keep doing that. Final Fantasy VIII. Beyond happy that Final Fantasy VIII is coming out. I really did chalk that up to being gone. Is this split up into different segments for what we talk? UAC, I split these up into different segments, and so we already talked about 2 other segments. So we're talking. This is all one segment. Us talking about all of this stuff, and then after this, I do a viewer topics portion where you guys can bring up anything that may have come up during the week or any issues, anything that you really want to talk about. Realm of the Re-Abled, welcome. Dark Crystal reminds me of the 10th Kingdom. I'm not familiar with the 10th Kingdom. I'm going to have to check that out. I recently got 1.3k sharing. Real Edgy. Hi there. How you doing? You know, we've got 2 more tiers. No, I'm kidding. Should I wait till the Switch version or play the PC version? Latimer, for what? For what game? About the Avengers game. Nino Kuni for the you're talking about Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII. I would probably say wait for the Switch version. I'm curious to see what they change and what quality of life changes they make. Yeah, Final Fantasy VIII. I'm sorry. No, I apologize. We were talking about Final Fantasy VIII at the time. Yeah, I would wait just to see when it's coming out and how much it's going to be. I mean, if you have it already for the PS1, that's fine. Play that. But I don't know. I'm curious to see what the quality of life changes are going to be that they add to that game.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Realm of the Re-Abled, thank you so much for the follow. Unbelievably appreciated. Unbelievably. Nino Kuni for the Switch. I'm kind of excited for this. I'm a little bit less excited for this because they did say that it is not going to be the remaster. The Switch version is going to be a port of the PS3 version. The Nino Kuni for the PS4 and PC, I believe, are going to be the upgraded versions. So I'm a little bit less excited for it for the Switch. That being said, I may still buy it for the PS4 because we started playing. I have it right here actually. We started playing it on the PS3 and then they announced it for the Switch, so I stopped playing it immediately. Yeah, the Nino Kuni announcement killed the playthrough. Do you have sitcom laughter on my soundboard? No. Okay. This is a weird one for me. I'm actually really surprised that I even put this on my list. Mario Maker 2. I didn't play the first Mario Maker. I am actually pretty interested in playing Mario Maker 2. I think that I would really like to get this. I was very happy that they did announce that a little bit later after its release, they're going to add the ability to play with your friends online during the multiplayer segments. I am a little happy for that. I didn't understand that at first, but then I forgot that they added this new feature, and now we're going to be able to use it. So if I pick up Mario Maker 2 in a reasonable amount of time, maybe we'll do some on stream games. Maybe we'll mix it up. We'll have some fun with everybody. Breath of the Wild 2. AR Mega Man. Breath of the Wild 2 is something I want to pick up, but I don't have it on the list just because it's so far out. It's not really worth. Like Metroid Prime 4 is not on this list. It's so far out that we're not going to see it anytime soon. So it won't be out before the next E3. Some games I want to play portable, some games I don't. So I always decide. Yeah, exactly. Press play. Whether or not the resolution is dramatically better or worse, the portability is a more important factor for me. When someone subs, you should make that sound audience applause. Oh. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. There's that. I have that sound too. A bunch of online races in Mario Maker 2. Yeah. Cadence of Hyrule. Cadence of Hyrule was announced before. We saw a ton of it before, and I was very interested in it. It was available on the Switch after the stream, after the Nintendo Direct. So I am interested in picking that up. I have heard good things about it so far. I've heard that it is actually a really good game. I don't know how long it is. I keep hearing like 10 to 15 hours, if even that. It's $24.99, and you also get Crypt of the Necrodancer. I'm interested to play it. I do want to pick it up at some point. I'm kind of curious to see if Limited Run Games ends up doing a limited run of it. Because I'm a Metroid Press Play. I also am a Metroid shill, but I'm realistic about its release date. I know that it's not coming out anytime soon, given that Retro Studios just put up an announcement looking for an art director. So I feel like I have a feeling that what they're working on right now is the combat system and a lot of the gameplay elements, and they're not really focused on the art style just yet. There's only so many ways you can change up Samus's outfits or armor. There's only so many. You can't draw the Metroids really much different. There's only so much you can do, so I feel like that might not be the most important thing for them right now, but they did just put out a notification looking for art director or the leader of the art team or something. So we're not anytime close to Metroid Prime 4, basically. Dragon Quest Builders 2. I don't know if this one's a surprise or not. I actually really like the first Dragon Quest Builders, so I am interested to see Dragon Quest Builders 2. I do want to play it. I, again, will say that I want to see a little bit more of it, but as of right now, I would love to buy a copy of that game. Metroid with buff arms. Contra Rogue Core. I put this on my wish list because I absolutely love Contra and I very much want to see it. I have a bad feeling we're going to see more of the game and I'm going to be less interested in it. But as of right now, I very much want to check this game out. I would love to have a copy of this game. Oh, Samus in HD. Panzer Dragoon. Yikes. All we saw was that Panzer Dragoon was coming out, and my wallet winced. It is almost 100% guaranteed that I am going to pick that game up. I want to. So I love the first two games. I absolutely love Saga. I want to support the Panzer Dragoon game coming out, not just because of it being Panzer Dragoon, but because if we support this, maybe we'll get a Saga remake. You guys, for anybody that has, most people here probably have not played Panzer Dragoon Saga, and I can't stress enough how awesome that game was. I will admit that it has been forever since I played it, so I don't know how well it has aged, but what an amazing game that was when I played it. And I have been wanting them to rebuild this game for decades. And we're going to get it. I believe we're going to get it. I feel like there are a lot of games that look good, but also aren't too different from anything we already have or see, which is why I save it for a few games. Yeah, that's why I have this list and I love it, but I know that there's going to be a ton of stuff that I don't even play because it probably is unnecessary. You know, Dragon Quest Builders 2, I'm very excited to play it. But it's Dragon Quest Builders. It's just the second one. So unless they add a crap ton of stuff, it's probably not high priority. I haven't played Panzer Dragoon, but I will. Now, what I'm hoping for Panzer Dragoon, for this remake that's coming out, is that the remake is actually Panzer Dragoon 1 and 2 combined. Put them both together on one game. Let the game end on a cliffhanger, and then tell us you're remaking Panzer Dragoon Saga. That way, I can, well, let's just say get overexcited. And the last game, if you notice that it hasn't been on there, I haven't said it yet, and it's because it's going to be amazing. Link's Awakening. I'm very excited for Link's Awakening. I absolutely love the art style. Did you see the amiibo for my new son? He is adorable. Link's Awakening remake. When it was first announced, I remember saying, we talked about it here, and I remember saying there isn't a single person who is not on the development team for that game who could say that they saw a Link's Awakening remake coming. Nobody saw that coming. Now that I have seen more of it, we've seen the art style, I am so much more excited for this game. It looks so amazing. For reference, how old is Link's Awakening was 92? It's got to be something like that. No. Yeah, it's got to be like 92 or something. No, not September 20th, 2019. The original. Game Boy release date. 93. Wow, D-Day. June 6, 1993 was the original Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. And then later on, they made the DX version, which was colored. They added some color. It had real color in it, and then it had a color dungeon that was exclusive to the DX version. June 6, 1993. Is that me in my pants, or what just happened to the thing? 93. I'm from 99. Yeah, 3 years before my birthday, exactly. Link's D-Day. Yeah, that's D-Day. For the June 6th, 1944 was D-Day. 1944, 1941? 44. Yeah, Pearl Harbor was 41. D-Day was 44. I'm so excited for that game. I really am. I really am excited to see how it plays out, what they added. I really hope that when you beat it, you get the original version on the game that you can play through. I would love to see that. And you know what? Just for the hell of it, throw Oracle and Oracle Ages and Seasons on there. What the hell? Why not? Throw them all on there. It said a Zelda Maker standalone game is possible based on the success of the Maker function in Link's Awakening. Yeah, the Link's Awakening, one of the features that they're going to have is that you will be able to collect dungeon rooms. And then you can put together your own dungeons that you can then share with people. Effectively, a very light version of Zelda Maker. If a full-blown Zelda Maker was ever to be released, that would be it. That would be it. People would go crazy for it. I'd love an Oracle remake. I would like an Oracle remake. I think those games were big enough to combine them into one game and make one big giant masterpiece. If I want a remake for anything, I don't even need a remake, really. Could somebody please put Minish Cap on the Switch? I would really appreciate that. They're called fan mods. Do you mean like randomizers? Sort of like that. I'd like to play. Recruit. I think Mario Maker has proven that everybody wants to play other people's creations. That's never been a secret. Minish Cap I love Minish Cap. I thought Minish Cap was such a great game, and I would really love to play it again. Yeah, now that's something I want. I don't even need a remake. Give it, you know what? Give it to Inti Creates. Give it to the people who did Cadence of Hyrule and let them remake all of the sprites and remake Minish Cap. Oh my god. Symphony of the Night remake. See, I don't know. I don't know that I'd want a Symphony of the Night remake. I think I just want an HD remaster. All the Kaizo dungeons that will be nothing but cheaply placed dark nuts. But UAC, won't it be a badge of honor to beat some of those levels? Some people will cherish the fact that they were able to do it. They'll love to see 0.2% completion rate and know that that's them. They are the 0.2%. I mean, it's the same as The Sims. I can't be bothered to make my own, so I download someone else's creation. That's part of the fun. Just not big into making my own levels, which is why I didn't enjoy Mario. Recruit, it's funny. I didn't buy Mario Maker for a while at first. I never bought it. I didn't buy it at first because I'm the same way. I had no real interest in creating levels. And his name is Unqualified Gamer. He stops in here every once in a while. He told me, he was the first one that told me, like, no. And I guess he was, because he was the first one to talk to about it. He's like, no. When you buy the game, you don't ever have to create a level. It's not like you have to create a level in order to unlock features or anything. You need the game to play other people's levels. And that's really fun. And from right there, I was like, oh, okay. But I still never got it. Yeah, the Kaizo stuff that's not entertaining for me. The auto scroll, auto play game, the levels, that's not entertaining. It's fun to watch, but you don't really care about it after that. When I bought my 3DS years ago, I had you had the Ambassadors program. Oh, I did like how the internet blew up when Mario Maker came. Yeah, it's such a great, it's such a great concept, and it works. It's something that, what, back in the day on PS1, we had games like RPG Maker. They were fantastic. I remember we made a level. They came out when I was working at the video game store, and we made a little game. But you can't really share it with anybody. You can only share it with your friends. How great would it be to have RPG Maker and then be able to go online? Send stuff online, and not even if it's not a whole game, just make your own dungeons. Stuff like that is cool. Some people want to do stuff like that. Anybody who thinks that people don't want to do that people don't want to sit there and create all of that stuff, go to any YouTube video for Minecraft creations. You will see some of the most elaborate creations ever for people's own entertainment. They didn't do it because they're making money. They didn't do it because it's their job. They did it because they like the creation aspect, and they want to create, and they want to share it with other people. Didn't somebody create the entire World of Warcraft map? Like a legit walkable map? People like that are insane, and I love it. Yeah, I think that it's a great concept, and I would love to see it. But that's off topic. That's my wish list. So I think it's like 17 things on there. So now you can see why my wallet's killing me. Fortunately, they are spaced out enough, but there's so much stuff on there that I really want to get, and I'm really excited. And the sad thing is, I look at that list, and I know I'm not going to get half of it. I know that's what's going to happen because things are going to come out and I'm going to have to prioritize. Animal Crossing and Cyberpunk are priorities. Link's Awakening is pretty much a priority. Other than that, everything else is going to be, if I have the opportunity to pick it up, I'll pick it up. And I know that, and it almost makes me sad. American Ninja Warrior is an example of hilarity. I'd be content with that. Yeah, I absolutely need Animal Crossing. I think if I have to pick one thing off of that list, it's Animal Crossing. There's no question of that. Okay. Viewer topics. If anybody has a viewer topic, a question, a concern, again, viewer topics are for things that have come up during the week, but they don't have to be. If you have any questions, we got too many games coming up soon. If you have any questions about that, if you anything you want to discuss, feel free to bring it up. This is your moment. This is your chance to step up. How many Smash characters use an axe as their main weapon? I think we need more of those. I don't know. I don't think that we need any more Fire Emblems. Real edgy, baby, don't hurt me. So what do you think of EA's new job position of VP of Legal and Government Affairs? What is that position? I mean, I think they're going to need one. VP of Legal and Governmental Affairs. Dr. Gibbs, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like a lobbyist for loot boxes. That's what that sounds like. It sounds like they had to create a position as a liaison to government agencies because they need somebody to explain to them what loot boxes are and why they want them. That's what that kind of sounds like to me, because EA is the only one having this significant kind of problem. Ultimate Beastmaster was hilarious because it seems that the veterans. Oh, okay. Okay. It is. I got it right. Yay! I got it right. Woo! Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Rocky Bear, have a good one. Have a great weekend at TMG. You deserve it. Thank you. Everyone have a blessed one. I'll see you guys next week. Yeah, after today, I'll see you next Monday. But thank you for stopping in. Have a good one. It's a major loot box fetish, and loot boxes are one of the worst kinds of gambling. Is randomized loot boxes, and we did this discussion before. Let's be clear here. I am against randomized loot boxes. I am not against in-game in-store purchases. I am not really against that. If you don't like it, you just don't buy it. I actually prefer them because then if there's a costume you want or there's an item you want, you could just go and buy it. I prefer that. I think it's a little nonsense sometimes, because there have been games where I have bought things, but ultimately if you like it, you should be able to buy it. And if you don't like it, you should have the option to not buy it. I don't like pay to win items. I don't like randomized loot boxes because they're gambling. Other than that, put it in there. I wish I could go to TMG, but I happen to have the big Europe. Well, Edgy, you're in Europe. Where is Gamescom? Isn't that one of the ones in Europe? I know Europe has retro and modern gaming conventions. Gamescom? Where's Gamescom? Why am I thinking of Gamescom? Yeah, Gamescom. This is it. Gamescom 2019. I got that right. Looks like August 24th. August 20th to the 24th. This year in... Where the hell is Gamescom? Where is that? Overview? Where the hell is it? Why is the date not here? Why do you... Damn it! Damn it, Europe! Holland? No. Damn it, Europe! I don't know where Gamescom is. Cologne. It's always Cologne. Cologne, as the Americans say. Americans don't say that. Where is Cologne? I'm not entirely sure with that. I'm not sure where that is. Germany. Thank you. I'm sorry, I just saw that. Gamescom. So it's in Germany. So yeah, they have something. They got a little something. For Greg and chat, what are your fondest memories of any cons you went to? Ooh, fondest memories of a con? I don't know. I don't know what my... Probably the Too Many game from a few years ago when I found the Virtual Boy and the Miracle Piano. That was a fun event because I went the whole weekend. I'm sure I've told this story before. That was the weekend I went specifically looking for those two things, and all weekend did not find them. And then Sunday I found both of them, but I found them both on the same trip to the con. Like, I didn't have the chance. I had bought the Virtual Boy and hadn't had the opportunity to go outside and put it in the car before I then found a Miracle Piano. So I'm holding all of this stuff, and I'm at one point, I think it was John that I walked up to, and I'm like, help, give me a hand. He's like, oh, you found the Miracle Piano. I was like, yes, help. It's like falling off of me. But that was one of my favorite memories, was going and finding both of them. Not only was I happy to find both of those, but I felt like it was a funny moment for that to happen, as Zap Brannigan would say. Technically, the only convention I've been to was a reptile breeder convention or something like that. I only tagged along with a few friends who wanted to go. My friend bought a snake, and the other friend. Recruit. Even if you're not a reptile person, even if that wasn't the sort of convention that you might have gone to on your own, was the energy great? Was it a good? See, that's one of the things I love about conventions, because the energy is always very positive. You are surrounded by people who are surrounded by the things that they love. And it generates such a positive energy that even if it's not necessarily the thing that you're into, it is such a great environment to be in. I've had multiple people tell me Wizard World, which is the sort of comics and sci-fi convention that goes around, along with like Comic-Con. We have Wizard World here in Philadelphia. That was actually last weekend. And I've had people tell me, oh, well, I really don't like comic books, so I don't go. I always tell them, go. First of all, it's not just comic books. It's sci-fi and movies and TV shows, and it's video games, and it is comic books, and it's regular books, and it's there's a lot of everything geeky there. But more so, the environment is so positive when you're there. Everybody is having a good time. Everybody loves, so many times you walk by and you hear people like, oh my God, they have this, and it's just so cool. And it's such a good environment, such a good positive place to be. So I always recommend that. So being at a con just itself is usually a fantastic memory, but finding those two things was pretty awesome. I remember just being really happy, like exceptionally happy at that moment. The energy was pretty chill. See, that's great. Chill is good. Don't ever let anybody tell you chill is not good. The con, I got a picture with me and 3 Power Rangers. See, that's awesome. Mine was the first time going to a con. It was at Anime Expo, and found out about shopping booths. It was like a moment from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but with less death and nothing for free. There's more too. Yeah, TMG. A lot of the things when you talk about like PAX East, Magfest is unfortunately one where I learned this lesson. They are typically displays. There's other things going on when you go to PAX East is like E3, where it's more of a developers con. They're not really sales tables or anything like that. Too Many Games is a vendor convention. You go to Too Many Games with a shopping list, and there's stuff to do. There's concerts, there's panels, there's stuff in the area that's kind of fun to do. Of course, you're going to be at the hotel, so you're going to be with your friends, and that's always fun. All of that stuff is there, but if you are going to pick one shopping trip for the year, it's going to be Too Many Games. Portland Retro Gaming Expo, I hear, is the same way. Portland is a big one that I've had people tell me that I should check out, if I ever could afford that and get on a plane. But I've heard that that's a big shopping convention where you go there with the mindset of, this is going to be the place to pick up a lot of things that I've been wanting to buy. Too Many Games is very much like that. Anime Expo. I know things. There's also QuakeCon 11 when I got to be part of the competitive LAN tournament. So much fun and rockets. But hey, at the very least, I'm not surrounded by a bunch of nerds who could buy a ticket. Real Edge, you must be talking about the Smash Brothers tournament. Is there going to be a Final Fantasy VII MIDI concert? I don't know. I didn't look up the concert list. My biggest curse with conventions is that I have a detailed list of the panels I want to see. I have a list of any concerts that I might want to go see. And I miss them all because I'm standing on the sales floor, because I'm shopping, because I'm looking at things that I can't find anywhere else throughout the year unless I order them online, which is boring. But I get to see these things in person. I get to talk with people about these things. I get to learn so much. One of my favorite things about going to conventions for video game conventions is that I get to learn things. I get to talk to people who know more about certain topics than others and can educate me on why this system was different than this system, why the sound I remember one guy was I don't even remember what system he was talking about, but he was I think it was Genesis. He was talking about the sound chips in the different models, and it was all just so fascinating to me, and I love hearing about that stuff, and conventions are where I get that stuff. More like mediocre. So it's not having you. No way. I shower every freaking day. So the whole thing about the showering at conventions and stuff, and people don't shower. I know that there are people who probably don't shower. The biggest problem that I have is that I have come out of conventions, depending on what I'm doing for the day, I have come out at the end of the day feeling like I smell. And the problem isn't just that other people smell or that I don't shower, because I do. The problem is just that you take a shower, you clean up, you put on deodorant, you do all of this stuff, and then you go out into a sweaty convention floor for 11 hours. You walk around for what is probably the equivalent of a few miles, and you just sort of end up, you can take as many showers as you want, but if you go jogging for 2 hours, you're probably going to stink by the end of it. And it doesn't mean you didn't shower. It just means that you were participating in an activity that does generate a lot of sweat. And a convention center in the summertime, yeah, it's a little sweaty. MagFest is a little bit worse. The one thing about the convention I went to, I wish I did more of, was attend more events there. Yeah, see, it's tough to follow the schedule. There's so many different things going on, and that we were able to do so much. Neon, I was notorious the last few years, especially for the panel list and the concert list for Too Many Games is up right now. You have to go and download it to this guidebook app, but it's up right now. I am notorious for going through the list, picking the things that I want, and then I don't have my phone here. I use the built-in calendar on my phone, and I set the times for all of the panels, and I set my alarm to go off 15 minutes before so that I can remember to get to the panels. My biggest problem is that some of the better panels, you have to be there an hour before because you want to get in line. And then if you don't get in line, it may fill up before you get there. So I don't like losing that much convention time to go see the panels. That's why I always get hammered with that stuff. I have taken to looking up the smaller panels, the ones that are in the smaller panel rooms. They tend to be a little less, I hate to say less popular, but a little less populated. So I can usually get there right before it starts or even right after it starts and still get in and find a seat. But yeah, I try and do all of that stuff. And then I find myself standing on the sales floor thinking that I feel my phone vibrating and then realize it is vibrating because it went off 20 minutes ago because the panel started. So yeah, I always want to do more stuff and then I always forget. I always want to do more game tournaments. Give that a shot. I actually considered checking out the Smash tournament this year, but I think that that's like a $5 or $10 entry, and that's basically just me throwing my money away. Just in some cases, there were events that occurred at the exact same time. So there were some events we wanted to attend but couldn't because that's always a problem. That's always going to be an issue. No, they don't line up perfectly. So I had one year where there were about 3 times. It was Wizard World. There were about 3 different times where I was going to be sitting in one panel when another panel that I wanted to see more started. So I would get up and leave halfway through the panel, which I gotta tell you makes me so uncomfortable. I don't like doing that because I hate the feeling. I feel like they're looking at me and thinking that they're boring. And sometimes I want to tell them like I'm leaving, but it's not because of you. It's because there's this other panel. Getting a half-day ticket? They sell half-day tickets? That's awesome. I mean, it's unfortunate if all you can go is half a day, but that's awesome. I like when conventions record the events or floor shows, so people. Yeah, Dr. Gibbs, I like when the convention does that specifically. I noticed that there are a lot of people that do that at too many games. We go and we record Johnny's. We set up everything, and I've gone the last few years as his sort of cameraman, and we go and we record all of those and we upload them. I recorded Game Explains one year. I know that Derek needed somebody to run the camera for him, so I did that. I like doing that stuff. I like going and helping people out with that. I would love to have a camera of my own and take it to the conventions and then offer people like, hey, $10 and then I can record your panel. I'll record the panel and then I'll give you right after it, give me your laptop and I'll give you the raw footage so that you can have it, just to do something like that. Kind of reminds me on Twitch in a nutshell. Everyone I watch seems to be streaming at the exact same time. I just don't want to announce that I'm going. Yeah, I it's rude to say, hey, I'm going to leave this stream and go watch another one, but I always feel bad by just leaving. So I usually say something like, oh, I'm going to head out. Like I usually try and say something, but at least with Twitch, you can just slip out and nobody notices. Yeah, €8 for 4 hours? I'm going to do that, take a train first class. Yeah, €8 for 4 hours is pretty awesome, assuming you're able to actually participate in some of, if you can try out some of the games and buy some of the stuff, like that's actually not a bad deal at all. Yeah, I feel bad. You don't want to say you're going to somebody else's stream, but then you don't want to just duck out and not say anything at all. So yeah, I've gotten into the habit of, I'm going to head out, have a good one. Which now I feel bad because I'm giving it away. Give your laptop and I will edit it. Runs away with the tablet. 2 hour waiting. Yeah, it's a 2 hour waiting line depending on the game. Yeah, real edgy. That's another thing. When people talk about PAX East, what do they call it? PAX East, E3, and a couple others. They call them Line Con. San Diego Comic Con. They call it Line Con. Because you basically have to know if you want to do anything other than walk around the main floor, you have to know what it is ahead of time, and you have to pre-plan you waiting in line for hours before it starts. It's the only way you can do it. And the conflict, yes, it's kind of cool. I mean, I think that's kind of cool. Excuse me. So second half on. Yeah, that's the only thing about those second half badges is that you can't buy first half badges because that would be cool. If you can get in at the beginning but then have to leave at 4, that would actually be pretty cool. Although I guess you can't guarantee that people are going to leave at the proper time, so you can't really police it. Not easily, anyway. Why does my chair keep rolling off of my platform? So basically, it's escalator land. Do we get to the convention? This is the convention. Yeah. I prefer to go at the very beginning and actually skip the line. You'd be surprised, Edgy. You'd be really surprised. I went to Wizard World one year, and there was a line for George Takei. I think it was George Takei. I walked past that line 10 minutes after it opened. And it seemed like everybody that was in the line waiting to get into the convention was waiting to go and get into that line. The line was at least 60 people long. The convention hadn't been open. I would say about 20 minutes. The convention had been open for, and the line was at least 60 people long because they all wanted to get there first, so they got to the main line first. And then when they opened and they filed everybody in, they basically went right over to George Takei. The hotel costs actually well, Edgy, that's why you get a bunch of people. That's why, our hotel room is going to have 4 people in it. It's going to cost me like $175, which is a bummer because I wish it was less, but I don't have a big shopping list this year, so I'm okay with spending a little bit of extra money. I love taking photos of cosplay. I love taking photos of cosplayers. That's one of my favorite pastimes to do at conventions, at big, large conventions. I love doing that. I love interacting with them. I love talking to them about what they did and how they did it. How did they get this to stand up? There have been multiple times that I have talked to people and they say, "Oh yeah, I like this, but I can't figure this out." And I've said to them, "Oh, well, why don't you try this? Why don't you try sticking this or doing this?" And they love the idea. I love interacting with them and their ideas that I got from other people. Their ideas that I got from other cosplayers, because I saw there was a girl that was she had like a collar thing and she couldn't figure out how to get it to stick on there, but she didn't want to stitch Velcro. She didn't like the look of it. She didn't want to do the stitching that you can see on top. So I told her, well, they sell these 2-piece magnets that you can sort of double-sided tape one side into your shirt, and then you just kind of stick the other half into the collar thing. That way, when you put it on, the magnets hold it in place, but then when you take it off, you don't see any stitching. She was so happy that I had this idea, and it was because I saw another cosplayer that did something similar, that he attached one component of his costume with magnets, so that when he took it off, you didn't see it. How great is that? I love that. I wanted a photo for Discord face reveal. Aha. The new day just started and it's petty. 6:52. All right. I think that's gonna call it. I think we're. Oh. Did you hear about Endgame? Oh, Avengers Endgame. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Avengers Endgame getting DLC. Yes. So Avengers Endgame is getting an extra scene and a couple of extra items, and they're putting it back in the theater starting June 28th. I am very excited for that. I only saw it twice in the theaters. I would love to at least see it one more time. I know that part of the reason they're doing it is because they want to beat Avatar as the all-time highest grossing movie ever. I'm okay with that. And I am very okay with that because Real Edgy dropping another 5 GIF bomb. Thank you so much. All right, it's a good thing we're ending soon, but I'm probably gonna get a little emotional by doing that. So but yes, Hawk Goggles recruit Latimer, DB Stewart, UAC. Be sure to give Real Edgy the Hedgy a big thank you for that. That is very much appreciated. Very super generous. But yeah, I'm okay with the Avengers Endgame being re-released because the two that it's competing against, which are Avatar, which is in first place, and I think it already beat out Titanic, those movies had re-releases. The numbers that you see for those grossing those movie grosses, DB Stewart, thank you, in the hunt with a sub, DB Stewart. The numbers that you see for those movie grosses include re-releases. So I'm happy that Avengers is getting a re-release. I think it's going to earn like $45 million that it needs to beat Avatar. I'm pretty excited for it. Mostly I'm just excited for, being able to see it again in the theaters. Although if, Disney would go ahead and put Star Wars episodes 4, 5, and 6 back in the theaters, I would very much appreciate it. Avatar DLC soon. Yeah, Avatar's 4 movies of DLC. UAC, thank you so much for the follow after the sub. I love it. How many more subs do you need for extra? Oh, I have no idea. I haven't even looked that up. 35 points, I think. It says I got a thing here that says 25 sub points out of 35. So I guess that's what that is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I don't even I have emotes. It's funny. I have emotes for tier 2 and tier 3 subs. Well, tier 2. This is my tier 2 emote. I don't have an emote for a tier 3. Right? I don't think so. Yeah, that's just it. Yeah, I don't have an emote for tier 3 just because I don't really expect anybody to get up to tier 3 at this point. So I may just drag this Sage one down to tier 2. To tier 1, I mean. I've gotten into watching you on here, and it felt more only appropriate to follow now that I'm. Yeah, isn't that great? You have Real Edgy to thank for that, and I very much appreciate it. Reminds me of the last minute bid war I was once to put. Well, you go right ahead. Hey, listen. I don't ask for anything here. I don't request that anybody sub. I don't request that anybody. Well, I do request that people go ahead and click follow because that's free. But I don't request bits or anything like that. But I'm not going to tell you not to do it either. I have my tier 1 emote to be my brother's dog, but I lack Photoshop, so this is the monstrosity. Real edgy. The program is called GIMP. GIMP. Spell that out so everybody sees it. The program is called GIMP. I do my editing for my emotes in MS Paint because it's the easiest, most intuitive program for me to use. And then I put it on a white background. Then I use GIMP. I open it up in GIMP and I remove the background because Paint doesn't save transparencies, and you typically need transparencies. Paint doesn't save transparencies, but GIMP does. So I use Paint for everything, and then I use GIMP to remove the background, and I save it as a transparency, and that's how I upload my my emotes. That's how I got my Sagers and Derp. There they go. I just get more of my art tablet support. Yeah, I also use Paint. I still, for the life of me, I still don't understand why they never released a Paint Pro. I don't understand why they don't just release Paint with more features. Yeah, so you get the Jumbo logo and you could remove the yellow. It's hella confusing. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is not an intuitive program. You're going to have to watch guides. You're going to have to follow the guides specifically to learn how to. I literally only use GIMP to remove backgrounds. That's it. I don't do anything else with it. And I find that with a few fan-made add-ons, it's about as versatile as Photoshop. Good thing, too, since I hate that Adobe took away the perma by option. Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that. Oh, the yellow's part of the logo. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was, you just couldn't get rid of that or what. But you can get, you know what I've seen, Edgy? I've seen some of the higher end streamers that have multiple slots. They'll do something like Jumbo. They'll make each letter an emote. So then you can use all of them at once, or you can mix them up. Or you could send, oh bum. So check it out. Give yourself some time. Be patient with it because it is kind of a pain in the ass. I'm thinking some art assets for my YouTube, but my options are limited. Yeah, you'd be surprised. With a Latimer, look up GIMP, look up Microsoft Paint, start looking up some creative things you can do with those things. You'd be surprised at how far those programs will take you. I mean, again, that stuff isn't the most vital, but it's always nice to have that stuff. It adds a slightly more professional look. And if we are nothing else here, we are professionals. But that is going to do it for this week. Thank you, everybody, so much for stopping in and for hanging out. Again, I hope that this unusual time slot has worked out for everybody. If it has, then fantastic. If it has not, then I do apologize, and you might not be here anyway. But if you're watching it on YouTube, you will actually have seen that, so I take that back. If you are watching this right now and you are not normally here, please go ahead and click follow. That is one of my only shill things that I will ask you to do because that's free. Feel free to mute me after if I'm very annoying. Also, check the links down below and follow me over on Twitter, which is where I post any updates about what's going to be going on, any changes to the schedule that we're going to make. If you are watching, and follow me over on YouTube also, that's where I upload all of these videos, and every once in a while I may do something a little specific just for YouTube, so keep your eyes on that. If you are currently watching this on YouTube, also check the links down below. Go ahead and follow me over on Twitch, which is where we do the show live, normally Fridays 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or Daylight Savings, whatever. The eastern part of the United States, whatever the time is there. And follow me over on Twitter. Again, that's where I post all of my updates. Thank you, everybody. I want you to have an amazing, amazing weekend. I will try and be I'm going to be tweeting from Too Many Games. I will also probably try and do a little bit of a stream just to sort of, say hey to everybody, say thank you for all of the support. Thank you, Real Edgy, by the way, very much for the 10 gift subs today. And hopefully everybody who got a gift sub thanked Edgy for their gift sub. I don't know. We're getting enough people. We may have to have sub nights one day, which I'm never really, we never really have enough people to support a sub night kind of thing. But so I'm always reluctant to do it, but who knows? We may be getting there someday. But for now, let me remove the topics images. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing, still waiting for that. Thank you, Reed. Have an amazing day, amazing night, fantastic weekend. I will, oh no, God, I almost hit the wrong button. And I will see you all next time.